lovers. Oh, that's me. I'm a food lover. And today we are going to be going on the ultimate food tour of Magic Kingdom. So I hope you came hungry because frankly, we got a lot to do. So let's get started. Here in Magic Kingdom, and we are going to be checking out 15 of the most famous snacks, treats, or just spots to eat at, and I am so excited. We're going to be starting with one of my favorite breakfasts in the entire park, and we are going to head towards Sleepy Hollow to find it. Alright, so over here by the entrance of Liberty Square is where you're going to find Sleepy Hollow Refreshments. Sleepy Hollow Refreshments has breakfast and lunch and dinner options, but this is where you're going to find those famous waffle sandwiches like the fruit and Nutella waffle sandwich, which is what we are after. Now, it's been a pretty busy morning, to be totally honest, and luckily I mobile ordered on my way in, so I'm hopefully not going to have to wait in this super long line. Okay, so this is it, the first on our list, and actually the first on our foodie guide, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is the fresh fruit waffle from Sleepy Hollow. It's $8.49. It's served with strawberries, bananas, blueberries, and a chocolate hazelnut spread, all in a delicious, massive waffle. And fun fact, you can also get Joffrey's cold brew here, which you can actually add flavor, and it's really nice, and the line is not as long, and you can mobile order it along with the rest of your stuff, which is just nice and convenient. As we're talking and as we're going to be eating, all of these are iconic snacks that you're going to find here in Magic Kingdom, but some of them are truly for the foodies, for those food lovers. So while we're going around, while we're doing all of the fun stuff today and trying the iconic snacks, I'm going to tell you what I think belongs on any foodies list. So if you're a bit of a food snob or you want something that's genuinely really good and not just exciting because it's at Disney, stick around for that list. This honestly might have been a mistake starting with this. I'm like, we're gonna have to eat the whole thing, but then we're gonna have to eat so much more too. One thing is the waffles come out consistent every single time. They're light, they're fluffy, it's chocolatey, it's creamy, and then the fruit is almost always super, super fresh, really light and refreshing. The combo is just incredible. And if you want, you can share this with people. I absolutely am a big fan of this. It's one of the most consistent and well-made treats in all of Magic Kingdom. That's why it's on this list, that's why it's on the foodie list, and that's why you have to start with it. They also have Mickey waffles here at this spot, and it's one of the only places you can get Mickey waffles at a quick service, and it's actually the only place in Magic Kingdom. So if you want a Mickey waffle, it's massive, it's also wonderful, but this in particular is just so good. The quality is always, always amazing. We're doing our foodie list. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, but I also want to just kind of rank things, give them a comparison, give them a companion, if you will. And I'm feeling very inspired by High School Musical this evening, morning, day, doesn't matter. And I think I'm going to try to give each food a character that I think that they're like. And sometimes I might use characters, sometimes I might not. I think this one is Sharpay. Sharpay is that girl. She's always stunning. She's always talented. She's always hitting the note. And she's going for it every single time. No one is hustling like Sharpay is hustling. And you can't deny that. She may have been a villain to some, but honestly, when you're grown and you know and you're more like aware of the world, she was working hard. She wanted to get her bag. She wanted to get to Juilliard, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that if you want something wonderful, consistent, and that goes above and beyond every time, you should get this fruit Nutella waffle. And Sharpay does the same. Just to keep things consistent, we're gonna walk over to Adventurland, and we're gonna take it land by land today. So that means probably some very early in the day spring rolls if they're open. Okay, so we are here in Adventurland, almost. We're like at the entrance, and we are gonna stop at the spring roll cart. If you don't know what this is, I'm about to change your life, your world, just kind of blow your mind, frankly. This is where you're gonna grab some really fun and unique spring rolls, and as you can tell, it is a pretty popular stop because look at this line. All right, here they are, the famous Adventurland spring rolls. Now you can get cheeseburger spring rolls right now or pepperoni pizza spring rolls. They haven't been known to change them out. The most consistent is gonna be the cheeseburger one, but you can get one of each if you're looking to try. So I did that. Here on the right is going to be the pepperoni pizza one, and here on the left is the cheeseburger. And you can actually grab these for $9.50, and then they both come with a sauce. I went ahead and ripped them up so that way I could take videos so you could see the inside. I'm going to start with the pizza, marinara sauce and everything. Cheers. Cheeseburger. These are amazing. I think that there is a reason these are iconic in Disney World. And to just talk about the flavors a little bit, the pizza spring roll is so good. It's cheesy. It's honestly a little bit greasy, like you want your pizza to be. There's a nice amount of like basil and herbs in there. And it's just good. It's got that nice savory pepperoni flavor as well. Overall, really, really good. But my preference is gonna be the cheeseburger spring roll. It's so incredible. There's so much ground beef in there with lots of cheese and little diced up pickles. It actually reminds me a little bit of a Crystal's burger, as weird as that might sound. I love it. The dipping sauce with that one is almost like a paprika mayo kind of situation. And it's really, really nice. The marinara is fine. It's not as flavorful, but it's also just like to dip. It's like an addition, a cherry on top. It's not the whole show. Really, really love both of these. It's a little bit pricey. It's almost $10 for just 2 of them, but I think that the quality is there, and I think that they really hold up compared to a lot of the snacks you can find around Disney World. We're gonna talk High School Musical characters. I think this one is Ryan. I did not mean to start off with the Evans siblings, but I think this one is Ryan mainly because Ryan he's a little bit classier. He's a little bit more elevated. If you've ever seen Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, he's just bougie. He's on Broadway, he's more expensive, but he's really good. So I think that that's kind of how the spring rolls are to me. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're really good at what they do, so you don't get that mad at them. All right, here we are, Adventurland. One of my favorite lands, lots of fun, and a handful of really iconic and incredible eats. So as you're walking into Adventurland, one of the first things you're gonna see on your right is Skipper Canteen. This is one of our favorite sit-down restaurants in all of Magic Kingdom, and frankly, all of Disney World. So Skipper Canteen is a table service here that is Asian, African, and Latin inspired, and you can find a lot of really interesting food options here, but one of the most famous is that kind of secret Brazilian cheese bread. It's not really secret, but you do have to ask about it. You're gonna find things like grilled steak here, tastes like chicken because it is, curried vegetable curry stew, hearty harshu pork, sustainable fish, lamb chops, and noodle bowls. This is one of our favorite spots because honestly, it is just so good. It's almost similar to the fruit Nutella waffle in the sense that the quality is always there, the taste is always good, and the cheese bread is unbeatable. I could literally eat my weight in it, and I have been here for dinner and then I've reordered it again while I'm still here because it's so wonderful. If I had to give Skipper Canteen a High School Musical character, I'm probably gonna say Kelsey, because Kelsey is so talented, but she kind of flies under the radar. Not everybody knows about Kelsey. She's in the back with her piano, she's writing music, she's not center stage, but without her, it wouldn't run. We wouldn't have a musical, right? So definitely I'm gonna say that Skipper Canteen is that because it's under the radar, there's almost always reservations for it, but the quality is significantly better than some of the other options that you can find here in Magic Kingdom. Now, Skipper Canteen is definitely going to be my #1 recommendation for the Magic Kingdom table services. We have a full review up on the channel right now of Skipper Canteen. You can check out all of our favorites there, and it's me, Fry, and Sage, and we really want to have dinner with you, so go have dinner with us. Now for our next spot, we are here for Aloha Isle Refreshment, and if you know anything about Disney World, you're gonna know why I'm here. There's a few things that we overuse the word iconic quite a bit, but I think that this one is truly iconic. It is famous, and it's one of those things that, like during COVID, people were trying to recreate at home. That's how much people love this one. So we're gonna hop in line and grab some Dole Whip. So this is it. This is the famous Dole Whip. This is a pineapple soft serve that is actually vegan and dairy free. It is so wonderful, and I think everybody needs to try it once, so we're trying it together today. Now, Dole Whip does melt fairly quickly, so I don't always recommend taking 1,000 photos like we do. Maybe just sit and enjoy it. But I know someone is over here, and I want them to enjoy it with me. So let's see where they're at. I bring you Dole Whip. I got 3 spoons. I hope I can share. Is it okay if I share?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's sleeping.
Oh, the baby's here. They don't know that yet.
Oh, I have my baby's here.
I have a baby! Okay, Dole Whip. That's actually kind of soupy now. I'm also making them try the Dole Whip with me. We're all gonna pretend like it's our first time. Oh. Wow!
Dole Whip is not like my thing.
just because I love pineapple, but it ends up being so tart.
Yeah.
It's a very tart ice cream, but like I prefer it in a float form, not in a cup.
I was going to talk about Tropical Serenade.
That's good.
Yeah. I like it because as it melts, you just get more and more.
Yeah, it's just like it's melting into the float, and then you just drink it with a straw instead of it melting all over your hands
And your kids.
and your face and the ground and your kids, your children.
I love Dole Whip. We get it here. We get it when we're in Disneyland. My preferred is the mango chili whip in Disneyland, but this one is really wonderful. And even if you think, I'm not super thrilled, get your whole group, you share one, everyone try one bite. I think everyone should at least once in their life say they've tried it. Now, if I had to rank these on High School Musical cast members, if I had to give this one a High School Musical cast member...
Get out! Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing my foodie list, but then I'm also doing High School Musical. And I've been pretty pleased with my stuff so far.
I'm so invested in this right now.
Was gonna give this one Gabriella. Because it's across the board. Most everybody likes it a little bit. It's pretty good, but is it going to be the best thing you're going to get? Maybe not. I think Sharpay outperforms, but everybody likes Gabriella. Okay, we've had some savory things, we've had some sweet things, and I think now, because we just did our Dole Whip, it's time for some savory. But that wraps up Adventurland, our Adventurland highlights. And now there's one thing I really want to talk about over in Frontierland, which is our next stop. All right, so we've made our way into Frontierland, and Frontierland is actually kind of undergoing some big changes right now. The Country Bear Jamboree is currently being reimagined. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is hopefully opening very soon, sometime in summer 2024, which is sooner than we thought. And they've actually started talking about some big expansions that could be happening behind Big Thunder, which is a project they're calling Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. So lots of changes, but there's some good food over here as well. And one of those things that I personally love and I'm obsessed with is right here at Westward Ho Refreshments, and it's the Candied Bacon Skewer with chips. All right, so we made our stop at Westward Ho and we grabbed the candied bacon on a stick. This is absolutely to die for. It's $9.99 and comes with chips. Now, Disney does not necessarily list the ingredients for this one, but traditionally when you're making candied bacon, it's brown sugar, butter, and then some salt and pepper, you know, just kind of the normal jazz, but it's that brown sugar that really makes it candied and sweet. You can actually get a few things at Westward Ho that are really good. They actually have jalapeno poppers as well, which are to die for. Not super spicy, they're Disney spicy, but then they also have some corn dog nuggets if Casey's line is too long, but this is the reason to go. This thing is insane. It's fatty, it's savory, but has that awesome sweetness from the brown sugar. It's hefty too. It's just a wonderful, really complex snack. And because of that, it's on the foodie list. This is one of those things that is truly good. It'd be good even if you had it outside of Disney World. And heck, Gordon Ramsay has made a recipe for candied bacon. So I feel like that alone makes this one of the foodie lists. Now, if I had to give this one a High School Musical character, I'm actually gonna go bold. I'm gonna use two here. Both of these people will get their own snack later, but I'm gonna say that this is Chad and Taylor from the first movie, because they get a little salty when Troy and Gabriella get together and they're fighting. They kind of tear them apart so that way they'll focus on their like basketball and their school decathlon, and they're salty, but then they feel really bad, and so they're super sweet and they get them back together. So salty and sweet, Chad and Taylor. Now we are headed out of Frontierland and straight into Liberty Square, which we've kind of already been to Liberty Square when we went for breakfast, but we're coming back. Now our next table service we're going to talk about is over here. It's called Liberty Tree Tavern, and it's set in the colonial America time setting, just like the rest of Liberty Square. Now Liberty Tree Tavern is an all-you-care-to-enjoy restaurant themed around the sons and daughters of the Liberty Tree Tavern. It has a colonial style menu. It is served family style, and it includes roasted turkey, pot roast, oven pork, traditional accompaniments like seasonal vegetables, stuffing, macaroni and cheese, and the reason we're really talking about it is the ooey gooey toffee cake. This is probably my second favorite restaurant in Magic Kingdom behind Skipper Canteen. It is wonderful, and it's a lot of food like you would kind of expect to find on Thanksgiving Day and things like that. So the ooey gooey toffee cake is basically vanilla toffee cake with chocolate sauce and vanilla ice cream. It is delectable. It's warm and cold at the same time, and this is one of the things that I find myself consistently reordering when I'm here. So because this is family style dining, dining. You can reorder as often as you want. It's all you can enjoy, and it's just wonderful. And because of that, I'm gonna say that this one is Taylor. So I know we said the last one was Taylor and Chad. We're gonna say this one's Taylor because in the end, she is sweet. She's the whole package. She's smart, she's hot, and she's cold in the sense of like her personality. She's really like a great friend, but then sometimes she was a little bit cool. She wasn't at the best at times, but we love her. She's multifaceted, and I think that I can say that about the Ooey Gooey Toffee Cake. But again, Liberty Tree as a whole is wonderful. We actually have a full review up on the channel right now if you want to see everything about it, and I cannot recommend this one highly enough. The toffee is on the foodie list. It is that good. Foodie list item. I don't know why I did that. I want this to be entertaining for you guys. And I'm sorry, I take it back. Now we're gonna walk a little bit down the way, but we're staying in Liberty Square for a moment, and we're gonna go check out one of my favorite things at Columbia Harbor House. This is where you're gonna find chicken, seafood sandwiches, the famous lobster roll, and what we're here for, which is the Hush Puppies. Made our way inside to grab the famous Hush Puppies. All right, these are the famous Hush Puppies. They are $4.99, and we really count them more as a snack in our hearts because there's a lot of great entrees here, and Columbia is part of the tour in and of itself, but these are the reason to come. And also, I found people, and a different person, and a different baby. Hush Puppy cheers. What's crazy is I don't even really like Hush Puppies that much, but they're light, they're crispy, there's corn in them, so they're super savory, and I just think there's something about them that really hits different. I don't even know how to explain it that well. But across the board, we really love Columbia Harbor House. They have some really solid options here, a little bit healthier or just feel a little bit better than having corn dog nuggets again for the 5th day in a row. So we find ourselves here a lot, and we really like the quality. If I had to give a High School Musical character to these Hush Puppies, I think I would do Kelsey again for very similar reasons as Skipper Canteen. A little bit quiet, a little bit in the background. It's not going to be for everybody, but she's the backbone of what's going down at East High. Here we are at our first stop in Fantasyland. So this is the Frier Nook. If you didn't know, this is where you're going to find things like hot dogs, tater tots. There's some breakfast stuff over here that's absolutely wonderful. But the real main thing we are here for is the creamy macaroni and cheese with tater tots. And oh my goodness. So luckily for me, this is another one that is on mobile order, which I highly recommend for this spot. Oftentimes, I will say about mobile order is you don't have to use it. If there are times that it's a little bit pushed out, but you want it right then and there, and the line is short, hop in line. Both are convenient in different ways. Just you can kind of judge when is best. This is the creamy bacon mac and cheese tots for $11.49, and let me say this thing is hefty. Like lifting it up and down, hefty. You can't even see the mac and cheese because there is so many tater tots on it, but I promise it's under there. Okay, we found a seat in the shade. There is a little bit of seating to the right of Frier Nook, but there's not always a ton. But there's almost like a bar seating area that I found a single seat at, so very excited. All of the just drop something. This is like everything that you find comforting. This is like the childhood favorites all wrapped into one. It's just creamy and savory and just wonderful. Really, really nice. These are also super hearty. This is easily shareable, or you can make it a whole meal. But this is going to be very, very filling. And I think that the fresh onions add like a nice freshness and brightness to it. That overall, these are stellar. Now, if I had to give this one a High School Musical character, this might be my most controversial one yet, but I'm going to say Miss Darvis because she knows what she's doing, been around for a long time, and really is kind of the backbone of a certain area of the musical or of the land. Like, this is a backbone of Fantasyland, in my opinion, and you need Miss Darvis. And for some people, they're not going to like it. She's going to be too heavy for a hot theme park day, but for most people, they're going to understand the importance of Miss Darvis and what she's meant to us for our whole lives. Okay, so that truly was really, really hearty. So the next thing we're just really going to chat about, but it's kind of basically part of my family. This is something that I think the AllEars team would say is really just another cast member because we get it so often. I know it by heart. That way we can still chat about it in earnest as a part of our food tour. All right, so kind of back in the corner of Fantasyland is where you're gonna find a lot of the Beauty and the Beast inspired things. Like example, the Be Our Guest table service restaurant, Village Gifts. It's kind of a part of the new Fantasyland expansion that happened a little while back. But one of the best parts of that is Gastons Tavern. And I never thought I'd really say Gaston was one of the best parts of anything, but you know, he has a good tavern. So Gastons Tavern is a quick service here in Fantasyland, and you're gonna find a lot of iconic things like the LeFou's brew, some pastries, some snacks, but there's one thing that we say above any other treat you need to grab here. So that number one thing is gonna be the warm cinnamon roll for $6.99, and it is what the name is. It's warm, ooey gooey, massive cinnamon roll, and I wasn't gonna get one, but the smell in here is honestly making me almost reconsider. The warm cinnamon roll is humongous. It comes out hot every single time. It's nice, it's sweet, and you know what? Because we're crazy people and we love how sweet things are, we get an extra cup of icing for $1. It makes it so worth it, and once you've kind of eaten the icing off the top, those sides get a little bit more icing. It's ooey gooey, so easily shareable, and I think a wonderful breakfast if you're not into the fruit Nutella waffle side of things. Now for Gastons Tavern, I will say, I've never gotten anything here bad. The Gastons Tavern as a whole is on this foodie tour because it's so good. It's consistent, sweet. Even the ham and Swiss sandwich on a pretzel bun is just stellar. Now things can get a little pricey here, but it's really everything for the most part's under $15. And the LeFou's brew is my favorite drink in Magic Kingdom. So lots of wonderful stuff over here, but that warm cinnamon roll is gonna be the thing that kind of pulls everybody together. We're gonna give this one to Chad. Chad is your typical guy's guy. He's a boy, he's a great friend, he loves basketball, and I feel like that kind of encompasses Gaston's as a whole. But then Chad's also a sweet little cinnamon roll. He's so nice and you just love him and you want to hug him. So I think overall, Chad, Corbin Bleu, you carry Gaston's Tavern on your back. Now for our last stop here in Fantasyland, for one of our final Fantasyland staples, we're here at Cheshire Cafe to grab a very famous and delectable pastry. Cheshire Cafe is right here near Tomorrowland. This is where you're gonna find the cattail, the mixed berry tea slushy, as well as the amazing pepper jack pretzel, and even the Mary Ann birthday cupcake. A lot of quick service, snacky pastry kind of items here. This is it. This is the beauty that is the Cheshire cattail. This is a chocolate pastry with purple and pink icing over top, and it doesn't sound that fancy, but it really is. Okay, now this guy is only $5.99, and I think probably, I keep saying favorite a lot, but this is a consistent staple in my life personally. This pastry is super sweet. It's nice and chocolatey without being overly sweet or overly chocolatey. The pastry dough itself kind of cuts down on that, and it's just a really nice, I think, shareable sweet treat. It's one of those that you also know is not going to melt in the heat. The icing might get a little melty, but not anything compared to like a Dole Whip like we had earlier. You can just tear it up and share it with your friends. So good, so good. If I had to compare this to any of the High School Musical cast members, of course this is Zeke. It's a pastry, it's complex, but it's also simple and nice and sweet, and you want to kind of hug it. All right, here it is. No, not Astro Orbiter, thank goodness for me. We're here at the Lunching Pad. So the Lunching Pad, another kind of one of those quick service options in Tomorrowland, although this one is significantly smaller than the other option, which is Cosmic Rays. But you're gonna find some hot dogs here, frozen Cokes, which is my favorite thing on the planet, and then some pretzels as well. But I'm here for one of the more fancy pretzels, the different pretzels. And to you I present the cream cheese warm stuffed pretzel for $7.79. This one's pretty self-explanatory. It is a stuffed pretzel stuffed with cream cheese. It's warm, cream cheese, pretzel. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna say something slightly strange. I have had this before. I didn't really like it that much, but I know a lot of other people like it, so I wanted to be fair and add it to the list. But this is really good. I'm like enjoying every single bite of this. The pretzel itself is really light, fluffy, kind of like a cloud in a weird way. I don't know, I'm very surprised because I did not think I'd love it. I thought I'd like it enough, but I really actually love it. If I had to connect this one to a High School Musical character, I would probably say Martha, because it is just different. It's a little salty, it's a little sweet, it's a lot of fun. It just like explodes of excitement. And I think Martha does that. She pops, she logs, she jams, she breaks. And I think that this cream cheese pretzel does as well. Now to wrap up this amazing food tour and to maybe like go grab some Tums at first aid, we're gonna head to what I think is the most Magic Kingdom land of them all, Main Street, USA. All right, we're here on Main Street, and of course you cannot have a Magic Kingdom food tour and talk about famous Magic Kingdom eats without checking out Casey's Corner. So this is Casey's Corner. This is kind of the resident hot dog quick service here in Magic Kingdom, but it's really known for its corn dog nuggets, which is just kind of, you know, mini corn dogs if you didn't know. But they have golden cheese, and oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, so here they are, the corn dog nuggets with a little liquid gold here in the corner. Traditionally, they come with a side of fries. I chose to go with the mandarin orange today because you can sub it just so that way it's easier for me to take home. We've had a lot of food so far, and then the cheese for $1. Now the corn dog nuggets with the fries or the mandarin orange is $10.79. The cheese sauce is $1. And honestly, when you have the fries in particular, this is super, super shareable. But let's try them out and talk about why it's on the list. Comfort food at its finest. I don't know if anybody else had this, but like when I was a kid, there used to be corn dog nuggets at school, and that was like the best day ever. And honestly, they weren't even that good. But this is like what you thought you were having when you were a kid. They're so crunchy and savory, and just they're good comfort food. This is picky eater approved for sure. It's just a hot dog and cornmeal dip, but it's really nice. The cheese takes it to another level, in my opinion. And ironically, before this job, I was never really like super into getting the cheese, and now if I get corn dog nuggets without it, it feels wrong, and they're just not as good. But this is a comfort classic. There's a reason it's a fan favorite, and it's because it's simple, but it's really, really good. When it comes to giving it a High School Musical character, I think we can all agree that this is the Troy Bolton of Disney World. They're simple, they're for the guy's guy, and Casey's Corner is like an athletic baseball theme, and Troy's very athletic, and Troy would just want to eat corn dog nuggets all day, in my opinion. So we're gonna give this one to Troy Bolton, and I'm gonna eat all of them, which is really gross because I've eaten a lot today. This is a safe space, I know, because you guys aren't gonna judge me for the fact that I ate all of those. They're so good. They're untouchable. They're the Troy Bolton, you know? They're the number one. Now we're gonna head across the street to talk about one of our last few things here on Main Street as we're wrapping up. Across the street is where you're gonna find the Plaza Restaurant. Now Plaza Restaurant is a table service here on Main Street. We're actually gonna talk about both table services you can find here, but Plaza Restaurant is an awesome spot in my opinion. There's a lot of good food, a lot of comfort foods, and you used to be able to get breakfast here, so this is my formal plea for them to bring it back. Now there's lots of great things that you could grab here, but the number one that we always recommend is going to be the Plaza loaded fries for $15. These loaded fries really live up to their name. They're crispy fries with melted cheddar, green onions, and a spicy sour cream and bacon, and oh my gosh. They're hearty filling, and for $15 can easily count as a meal if you're here and you're trying to ball on a budget but you still want to enjoy some table service options. If I had to give a character from High School Musical to these Plaza fries, I probably would say Coach Bolton because he's delicious. Sorry, Coach Bolton. We're gonna ignore that I said that. But the fries are really great, but so is the entirety of Plaza Restaurant. If you want to see more about this restaurant, we have a full review up on the channel, which you can check out right now. I just wanted to give like an informal shout out to Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, just a place that makes me really happy and I love it so much, but it's not technically formally part of our MK food tour. All right, so we've made our way to the end of Main Street, and we're gonna have one more treat to talk about, but there's one more restaurant I do want to mention, and I honestly can't believe it's on this list. Up here by the entrance of the park, near Town Square Theater, is where you're gonna find Tony's Town Square Restaurant. This is like an Italian-themed restaurant that is themed around Lady and the Tramp. Now, it's famously been pretty bad for several years, but recently, in the last year or two, they redid the menu, and oh my gosh, it has gotten so much better. So Tony's Town Square is open for lunch and dinner, and now that they've improved that menu, we actually highly recommend you go, which is kind of funny because it was significantly the worst, but it's improved quite a bit. There's a lot of things that are really good on here. The fried mozzarella is incredible, but really for me, what actually stands out is the Tony's garlic bread for the table. Now you might be thinking, Emma, it's garlic bread. And in a way, yes, but it's toasted ciabatta with roasted garlic butter and a Parmesan fondue, and it's that fondue that really sets this thing apart. They bring you out just this piled high plate of good looking garlic bread, and then they take a Parmesan fondue, a cheese sauce, and they drizzle it and drown it, and it is amazing. It's creamy, it's decadent, it's really, really flavorful, and I would say even like a lot of heavy herbs were used. It's so nice. The garlic is just enough. There's never too much garlic in my opinion, but this is like the perfect example of like for people who don't like garlic that much, it's not gonna be too much. Because of the quality of this and just how interesting and delicious it is, of course, this is gonna go on our foodie list. That and the fried mozzarella with the spicy marinara really stands out. It's like your favorite thing you used to have as a kid and you still have as an adult, but leveled up. It's a bit better. And that's why Miss Sharpay Evans is gonna come up again in our discussion. It's better than the rest. It's talented, it's working hard. It is taking what you normally know as a singer and it's leveling it up. It is working that much further, harder, and it's just so, it's Sharpay. It's Sharpay Evans. And honestly, I'm so sad we're not actually eating here tonight, but if you want to see a full review, it's up on the channel right now. And as we're wrapping up, I will say, I think it would be a crime to come to Main Street, USA and not even mention the confectionery. So we're gonna end with a little treat together. So this is the Main Street Confectionery. This is one of the first things you're gonna see when you get into Magic Kingdom. And this is kind of like their bakery in a way. Now there is a Main Street bakery, it's Starbucks, it's not really a bakery. But this is kind of what you're gonna anticipate when you think of a bakery on Main Street. You're gonna find caramel apples here, Rice Krispie treats, fudge, cake pops, all the good stuff. They even have mini chocolate bundt cakes right now, fudge, pretzel rods, cookies. I mean, tons and tons and tons. All of the sweets and sugary things that you would think of. But what we're really coming here for is the peanut butter cookie pie. So I did go ahead and order mine fresh. You actually do that up at the case and then you take your receipt to the checkout. But before we go and try everything, I wanted to show you, you can sit here and watch them make these iconic treats. It's one of my favorite parts about the confectionery. There they are, the famous caramel apples being made in the flesh, and then you just look down and there's all these fresh Rice Krispie treats, and it's just a lot of fun. And I think that's one of those like Disney touches that really makes it feel magical, and you know that it's being made in-house right here. Here she is, the piece de resistance, the cherry on top of our Magic Kingdom food tour, the cookie pie with M&M's, peanut butter chocolate chip candies, and deliciousness. Now, the ingredients are quite literally what makes up the name. It's a peanut butter cookie pie made with M&M's and peanut butter chocolate candies with a chocolate frosting. And this thing is hefty. Look how thick this is. Really excited to dive into it, and honestly take a lot of it home for my husband to enjoy.
Wait, what?
I found myself a seat on a bench on Main Street, which is the perfect place to eat anything from the Main Street Confectionary. And I've torn off a delicious bite, just enough to get us through the end of our day and our food tour. This is absolutely wonderful, and what makes me so excited about this is in the past when I've had this, sometimes it can be too dry, but recently, I don't know if they've changed something, but the last like 2 or 3 times I've had it, that has not been the case. This cookie is nice and dense. It kind of crumbles, but it's still soft when you bite into it. It's the perfect amount of peanut flavor. It's not too overwhelming, and it's also not overly sweet. It's just the perfect amount of sweet, and I think it's great and shareable too if you don't want a ton of sugar. And I will say, I love the confectionery. I think it's a Main Street staple for a reason, but a lot of those things you can find them pre-made. That's why I love ordering out of the case, so that way you know it was made within the last day or two. It's as fresh as it'll be, and most of the time it is made that morning, but always ask if that's a concern you have. Now, if I had to compare this one to a High School Musical cast member, I would actually say the whole cast. And you might be thinking, Emma, this is a cop-out. No, it's not. It's not a cop-out. It takes a little bit of everything to make this guy good. And that is the true spirit of East High. Teamwork. We are all in this together, are we not? So this is the full cast, and I think that's the perfect way to end our Magic Kingdom food tour. And just like that, I'm ready to never eat again. But this was absolutely so much fun. I really had, I think I'd say a High School Musical experience. I think we had a beautiful day together. I'm so full. But I want to see what our final foodies list is, because I forgot to mention, this is on the foodies list because it's that good. So if you were really paying attention, if you were really taking class at East High, you would remember we have our foodie list. So let's break down the final members of the Magic Kingdom food tour foodie list. And remember, this is basically, and it was anywhere in the world, it would still be incredible. And if you're a foodie and a food lover, you need to try these things. Let's check it out. the peanut butter cookie pie, which we just enjoyed and was absolutely incredible, and the whole cast of High School Musical. The Dole Whip that we had, the candied bacon skewer, the garlic bread from Tony's Town Square, the ooey gooey toffee cake, and the fruit Nutella waffle. All of these are so wonderful. They're so good. And I think if you're truly a food lover, not just a Disney food lover, these should be things that are on your list. And with that, we are all now the Gordon Ramsay of Magic Kingdom. I feel educated. I hope you feel educated. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Now go check out my full Disneyland food tour up on the channel right now.